I can see we've got some participants rolling in now.
Excellent.
Very good. 17 and counting.
Hi, Joelle.
All right, we are just going to let people get logged in for a moment, and then we'll kind of dive in. Oh gosh, lots of interest. 50 plus.
Yay. I'll just put that I'm the coordinator next to my names.
Represent, guys. I think MedSci is going to win the attendance competition today.
Don't put competition into the play.
That's true. We are collaborative. All right.
Hi, Lynn.
All right, guys, this is fantastic. All right, just in deference to time, we're now a minute past. So, oh goodness, we're over 100. Awesome, guys. Hello, hello. So hi, everyone. My name is Kristen. I'm an assistant registrar of international admissions here at Dal. Don't be fooled by my title. I do both domestic and international, so I should be able to answer questions for just about anybody who is joining us today. So I'm going to be your host. I just want to take a second to say thank you so much for joining us. I know this is a Saturday and everybody would rather be out having fun, so we really appreciate you choosing to spend some time with us. Just before we get into the presentation, I'm going to offer just a few housekeeping notes. If you do have any questions, please feel free to type them in the Q&A box. I'm going to be monitoring that during the presentation and will answer any questions that I can. If there are questions for our presenters or that many people have, I'll pose them to the group so that we can answer them for everyone to hear. If you're having technical difficulties, please let us know in the chat function. So that's what we're going to try and differentiate questions to go to the Q&A and tech problems to the chat function. If you do miss anything or if you want to go back and clarify anything that you hear today, we will be recording the session and the recording will be available later today in the medical sciences booth. So you'll be able to go back and review any information that you feel you might have missed or want clarified. And with that, I'm very pleased to introduce our presenters for the day. We're going to have a short presentation from Dr. Julie Jordan, who is an advisor and undergraduate program coordinator for the medical sciences program. We've also got a current student joining us who has very graciously offered to give us his time today to share a little bit about his experiences. So a big thank you and welcome to Ryan. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Julie.
Thanks, Kristen. We're really happy to have you here to monitor the questions and field, especially admissions questions that we might struggle to answer. As Kristen mentioned, I'm going to offer a brief overview of the program, and I have some slides to share with you, and then we'll let Ryan share a little bit about his experience in medical sciences so far. And then we'll open things up for questions. So just stand by momentarily while I share my screen. Okay, Kristen, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see that? I can see you. Excellent. Thank you. Okay. I'm just going to move things. Great. Okay. So I would like to start by acknowledging that we are in Mi'kmaq, the ancestral and unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people, where we are all treaty people. And I'd also like to recognize the histories, contributions, and legacies of the African Nova Scotian people who have been here for over 400 years. Okay, so now a little bit about our program. Some of you are probably wondering, what the heck is medical sciences? So really, it's a flexible undergraduate program. It's a Bachelor of Science program that provides the foundation that prepares you for a number of different health-related programs. So professional programs like medicine or dentistry, pharmacy, physiotherapy, occupational therapy, things like speech pathology, health technologies like ultrasound, respiratory technology, nursing, the list goes on and on and on. These are just some of them. Our program also prepares you well for graduate programs. So like a master's degree in a science field, in medicine, in public health, public engineering. And again, that list is pretty long too. And then we even have some students graduate with our degree and go into employment, usually in research-related professions or jobs or in industry. So how do we make this happen? Well, we are a small but mighty team of 3. Dr. Sarah Wells is our assistant dean. There's me, who is the coordinator of the program, but I'm also the primary advisor for our program, and I coordinate a couple of courses, including our honors program. And then we have our medical sciences clerk, Azrar Haq. And we can't do this all on our own. So we have a great amount of support through the faculties of science and medicine, as well as from the Faculty of Arts and Social Sciences. So let's get right into it. Let's talk about admissions. So medical sciences is, most of our seats go to students coming directly out of high school, and that may be most relevant probably to the majority of you tuning in today. We do offer some seats to students transferring if they've done some prior undergraduate work, but I'll get into that at the very end. I really want to focus on the out of high school entry today. And in order to be eligible, you have to have at least a minimum 80% in grade 12 English, pre-calculus, and then 3 other university preparatory courses. Those can be any university prep courses, and the registrar is going to choose the best to use towards your overall average of the 5 courses. We do recommend biology, chemistry, physics. All of those are going to be very helpful, but you do not have to have them. And because we only offer 120 seats, and we often get over 1,000 applications, for example, this past year we had over 1,200 applications, this drives our average cutoff. We don't usually advertise, but it is usually in the high 90s. So I just want to be very transparent about that. Don't let this discourage you from applying, because it can vary from year to year. It really depends on you, the applicants. Most of the seats are made after we receive your first set of grade 12 marks. So that's not usually until the new year, but I still strongly encourage you to apply early, even apply today. And the registrar's office will look at your grade 11 marks, we'll get you in the system. And then when your grade 12 marks are available, you can submit those. And if we haven't already made an early admissions decision, then most of the decisions are going to be made in the new year. We do have an equitable admissions policy as well. So if you are in an underrepresented group and you are comfortable self-identifying, so doing so with consent, then you will be considered in a separate applicant pool. For example, starting in September 2022, we will have 10 additional seats for African Nova Scotian applicants and 10 additional seats for Indigenous Nova Scotia students. And that is a little bit of a different application process. So for more information, I'm going to encourage you to reach out to me directly so I can give you all the details. And so if you do self-identify, again, I encourage you to do so in your application. Okay, so what does our program look like? Well, we have a lovely mixture of science and medicine courses and courses from arts and social sciences. So you'll typically see courses in biology, chemistry, calculus and stats, and psychology. You're going to see all of these in your first year. Cell biology, genetics, organic chemistry, and physics. And then you'll also be taking courses from the Faculty of Medicine that include microbiology, biochemistry, physiology and neurophysiology, pharmacology, anatomy, pathology, immunology, epidemiology. Oops, sorry. That's a lot of ologies. And you don't have to remember these, but I just want to let you see that there's quite a mix and variety from a number of different disciplines. And then we have a health and society course, an ethics course, and a writing course. So these are all courses that you will be required to complete for the degree. So there's 24 core or required courses, and some of them are medical sciences specific, meaning not students outside of MedSci are not able to take them. They're just for MedSci students. A couple of those include our fourth year senior courses, the honors research course and the capstone course, which I am going to talk about in more detail shortly, as well as selectives, which are courses you choose from a list, and electives, which are courses you don't choose from a list we give you. You get to choose whatever you want to take out of the calendar. So let's talk about those specific to medical sciences core courses. So anatomy, pathology, epidemiology, the honors research course, and the capstone course, which is based on medical cases, are all very specific to the medical sciences program. And then those selectives that I talked to you about are the ones that you choose from a predetermined list. And the purpose of these courses is so you have an opportunity to maybe specialize in a particular area that you really like, or explore areas that you haven't taken courses in yet. And these are really helpful for preparation for honors, graduate school, or even professional programs in which you have an interest. So some of our selective courses are also specific to medical sciences only. Those include experiential learning courses. We have a couple of those. We have a biomedical lab techniques course for our students, a technology in medicine offered through the biomedical engineering school. We have critical thinking in neuropathology, and then we have a medical sciences directed research selective. Okay, so I want to switch gears to honors. So this is also very specific to medical sciences. Honors itself is not, let me be clear, you can do an honors in any undergraduate degree, but the way that ours works is different. So in general, honors is a year-long independent research project. You'll find this in any honors degree. The thing that makes ours unique is that you have the flexibility to complete your research project at any research at Dalhousie, as long as the project is somewhat health related. So that means it might be at a science site, Faculty of Science, it might be at a medical site, so you might be working with a doctor, or it could be at a site that we refer to as non-traditional. So maybe in philosophy or sociology, or even dentistry or law. So I've just given a little small example of where some of our honors projects have been completed here. The list is much bigger, but you'll see that in some of the sciences like microbiology and biochemistry, students have done their projects, but they've also maybe pursued it in ophthalmology or pediatrics or surgery, maybe in biomedical engineering, maybe in physiotherapy or occupational therapy. So this is one of the great unique features of our program, is that you can complete your honors at any research site, as long as it's a health-related work. Another feature that's quite unique to our program is the capstone. And this is a one-term course that is based on medical cases. And experts come in from different disciplines and talk to the students about different medical cases. So that means that it's quite interdisciplinary. And it's made up of lectures given by these experts. You do group work, you have some discussion, you do some presentation around these cases, and you usually write a term paper and present a poster on a health condition that you choose. This is a little table which gives an example of some of the courses that have been presented in the capstone course in prior years. So Lyme disease, which has been presented by an expert in the Department of Pathology and Laboratory Medicine at Nova Scotia Health. Anaphylaxis, so this has been presented by an ER doc, and it's been done through simulation in a sim lab at the hospital. We've had an expert talk to students about dental care in vulnerable populations, someone coming from UPEI vet school to talk to the students about hind limb fracture in horses, and a dermatologist to come in and talk about psoriasis. So you can see there's quite a variety of cases covered, and this is an excellent course, and the students who take it love it. Okay, so just to summarize, the key things that are unique to our program are the MedSci specific courses, the selectives that I talked about, the honors course, and the capstone. There are a few other features that are fairly unique, but these are really the things that pop out about our program. So we often have students ask what kind of research opportunities are available with medical sciences. And there are quite a few. The very first is that you can do your first year as a medical sciences student in the Dalhousie Integrated Science Program. And this is a program that allows you to take a number of courses all integrated into a number of subjects, integrated into one course. And you also get to work on a research project with your peers under the supervision of a faculty member in the Faculty of Science in your very first year. You can find out more about the Integrated Science Program in the Faculty of Science chat booth or through their website. We also have a couple of experiential learning selectives that are geared towards students who don't have prior research experience. So it's an opportunity to find out what research is about and whether you like it or not. Then we have the honors, which is that independent research project in your fourth year, and it's great preparation for graduate programs. And then we also have an advanced selective, which is a little bit like honors, where you get to work on an independent research project again, or like you would in honors. It's just not quite as rigorous as the honors program. So the experiential learning, the honors, and the directed research project are courses where you find a supervisor yourself and you work under their supervision, but we help you with that. Okay, this is another big question. So a lot of students come into our program or read about our program thinking that the only option is med school. And that's a myth. We do prepare students well for medical school, but we prepare you well for all kinds of different health-related careers. We're kind of like a springboard or a trampoline to further study in healthcare fields. And that can include pharmacy, nursing, optometry. If you want to become a researcher or a speech pathologist, maybe you want to work in the biotech or pharmaceutical industry. You might want to pursue academia and become a professor. You might even want to become a lawyer. We have a student every year graduate and go into law school. You may want to pursue health administration or maybe even veterinary school. Now, Dalhousie has an excellent pre-vet program offered through the Faculty of Agriculture. So if you are interested in veterinary medicine, I encourage you to explore that avenue. Okay, so this is just to cover some frequently asked questions. One of the big questions we often get is, what is the difference between medical sciences and a general science degree? So with us, you have direct entry into our program. You don't have to declare a major like you would in a regular Bachelor of Science. So for example, if you're really interested in biology, then you'd be declaring a major in biology. In medical sciences, you don't have to do that. We have quite a variety of different course subjects, whereas if you do a general BSc and you declare a major, most of the courses are going to be in that major subject. Our courses are designed to help prepare you for admissions tests for professional programs like medicine, dentistry, optometry. In a general degree, you will cover some of these courses. Some you may have to take as electives, whereas in our program, you're most likely going to find them as core courses. And that's true for foundational information for the programs you enter after you graduate. Whereas again, in a general degree, you will cover some of that material, but may also want to pursue those extra courses in your electives. I'm talking about courses like anatomy or pathology or epidemiology. So we've got the core courses specific to medical sciences, as I already described. And in a major program, some of those courses are also going to be specific to that major, but for the most part, it's pretty open. We have selectives, whereas a general degree does not. The honors option of doing your degree, completing your project at a place of your choice is something unique to medical sciences. We host workshops for medical sciences students only, so they're group advising workshops. And I also do intentional individual one-on-one advising, especially in the first year. whereas the advising in a general Bachelor of Science is a little bit broader. Okay, so sometimes students want to know if they can do co-op, but it's not possible with our program, at least not currently. We don't have it set up to work with our program. A combined degree is also not possible because you have to complete 10 to 14 credits beyond the 1000 level in both subjects, and it would not be feasible with our current curriculum. We have had students do 2 degrees, but they've completed all requirements for both degrees, which would take a pretty long time. You can do a minor, it's not required, but you can do it with some careful planning, and it might mean taking an extra course in the summer or in an extra term. But if you're interested in a minor, I strongly recommend you talk to me directly and we can hash out the details of how to do that. You can study abroad, and we just follow the same policies as any other student who wants to travel abroad. The timing is important for us. Most students go in the winter of their 2nd year, but we've had them go in the 3rd year as well. You can complete the degree in 3 years, but you'll be taking core courses in your elective space in the summer. You probably need some transfer credits. We usually don't recommend this, and we've only had, I think, 1 or 2 students in the past 6 years do this. You can do the degree part-time. You have up to 10 years to complete the degree. If you take 3 or more courses, you're considered full-time. Fewer than 3 is part-time. This might have an impact on scholarship or student loan, but it is possible. And we rarely offer deferral based on the popularity and competitiveness of our program, but it is also a possibility. We monitor that on a case-to-case basis. Now, remember at the very beginning, I said another way to get into the program is to transfer. So if you want to get into medical sciences and you're unsuccessful in the 1st year for whatever reason, or you just don't apply, if you complete all the same courses as we require in 1st year, as I'm showing you here in this table, so intro bio, chem, math and stats, psychology and writing as your elective, and if you have a minimum GPA of 3.5, then you are eligible to apply to transfer. And then we'll review your application and see if we can offer you a seat. We usually have between 10 and 12 seats to offer in year 2. Okay, that's it for me. So I'm going to directly turn it over to Ryan. So he's got a couple minutes to chat, and then we can take some questions.
Hi, everyone. So my name is Ryan, and I'm in my 2nd year of medical science. So I'm going to quickly touch on my experience here so far and why I really like MedSci. So I'm originally from Bermuda, which was a factor in me choosing Halifax, Dalhousie, and MedSci specifically, given the really similar close community. I think some things to really consider, and one of the things that drew me in was regarding the program outline. So as you've heard a little bit about today, in MedSci, you get to take such a wide range of classes from both the Faculty of Science and from various other faculties. So you really get this diversity in your education while you're still able to take some courses that are restricted to just MedSci students. And for me, I think the program really nicely sets out my plan for my degree. So I don't really have to think or stress about which courses I'm going to be taking during the registration process because it's pretty much all laid out for me. So I just have to choose any electives or other courses that I might be interested in. Also, given the flexible nature of the program, as we've mentioned today, it leaves a whole range of potential future careers or even other degrees that we can move on to. So for me, I think this program will be very good preparation should I decide to go on to medical school after this. And even if not, I've still spent my time here learning really useful and applicable things that'll help regardless of my career. One last thing I want to mention, the people here. So MedSci is a really close community. We're a relatively small group and of course taking all the same classes each semester for the most part. And not everyone is on the same career path, but being in a situation with like-minded people all supporting each other has been really important for my time here. Like we all kind of motivate each other throughout the week. So if you like the sound of courses like neurophysiology, anatomy, microbiology, immunology, and you like the sound of a really close-knit community, having opportunities to participate in related society workshops and activities, then I highly recommend MedSci.
Thanks so much, Ryan, and thank you, Julie. It's really great to have a student experience to share, because it definitely brings some life to some of the stuff we talk about day to day. Now I'm gonna just want to make a quick announcement. Guys, you are amazing as a really engaged audience. We have so many questions rolling in. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to be able to answer them all today. So if we don't get to your question, please do go to the medical sciences chat booth. We do have advisors available who can answer all of these questions.
Kristen, before we go into the questions, am I able to answer them directly on the Q&A like after, or because I could take some time? No?
No, unfortunately,
Okay.
the Q&A will vanish when we end our webinar.
Oh, okay. All right, let's get to them then.
Yeah, so we do have a few minutes left and we have
Okay.
some common themes. So let me just bring up, where's my Q&A gone?
And thanks everyone for coming, 180 participants, wowzers.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. So we've got a lot of questions about IB admission requirements, which maybe I can ask first. So for IB students, you do actually get two different transcripts in most cases, grades from your school and from the IB program. So we will actually consider both. We're typically looking for a minimum of 26 IB points total for students completing the diploma, and a minimum of 3 in this individual subject areas. In this case, English and math required for admission. Generally speaking, we will use what is to your best advantage as the applicant. So if your IB grades are better, we'll look at those. If your high school grades are better, we'll look at those as well. So next up, we've got a couple of questions about the capstone project. So the first is the capstone something everyone in MedSci does, or is it only for the people who want it?
So if you do a 4-year degree, then in your 4th year, you choose one or the other, honors or capstone. So if you don't do honors, then you're required to do capstone. Now, some students extend their degree to 5 years so they can do both, or some will do capstone and then do that advanced directed research project selective to get the research experience at the same time so that they do get that. But usually it's most students choosing one or the other. Good question.
So a couple of questions about dentistry. So if you're going into dentistry, do you complete the full 4 years or can you get in after?
So it varies from dental school to dental school. Their requirements, how many credit hours are required. A common theme is 60 credit hours, which is equivalent to 2 years of undergrad, but you have to satisfy all their course prerequisite requirements. So it is possible to apply after year 2. I haven't seen any MedSci students do that, but it doesn't mean students don't. So it's not impossible. I always strongly recommend you finish your whole degree before you get into those programs, but that's a personal choice.
Yeah. Just speaking from personal experience, the dental school is quite competitive, and often, the successful applicants do have, a full undergraduate degree.
Yeah.
So I'm seeing a lot of questions specifically about the application, and it's probably address it here. So when you're looking to apply, the application is asking for an application type. Do you select general? Yes, and the one that automatically populates is the one you use for applying to MedSci. So don't worry. And if you do read through the description, it will tell you that medical sciences is included in that application type. All right. So I think we've answered that question. So I guess there's a compare and contrast question that keeps coming up. So does a general science degree prepare you for MCATs, or would MedSci be a better fit?
Yeah, that is a really good question. Thank you, whoever asked that. So any undergraduate degree, especially a science degree, is probably going to prepare you well for the MCAT. We designed our curriculum a little bit more specific around those admissions tests so that in your first 2 years, apart from physics, you'll have completed the courses required to help you write the MCAT. So you might have to do a little extra physics studying if you wanted to do it after 2 years. But you can do a biology degree and be very well prepared to write those admissions tests too. So you don't have to do Med Sci in order to do well in those admissions tests.
Lots of interest. Oh, we're just at time now, but I am going to squeeze one more question.
Okay.
We're getting lots of interest in DISC.
Yes.
To how that applies to Med Sci and what the benefits might be.
Yeah, so DISP is just a first year program only. So some of our students, you as a medical sciences student, if you are interested in research and you have really good time management skills, then it's definitely worth exploring DISP. They integrate biology, psychology, stats, and a writing course all into one thing throughout the year. And in the winter term, you also get to work on a research project with a faculty member. The reason I say time management is important is because it's a little bit of an extra heavier load than our first year without DISP. If you decide to do DISP, then you just join in and do the curriculum like the rest of the Med Sci students starting in year 2.
Awesome. Well, that is all of our time, folks. Fly when you're having fun or answering lots and lots of wonderful questions. So thank you so much for joining us. We're going to sign off. Just a reminder, this recording will be made available in the booth later, and you'll be able to access that for the next couple of weeks. And do visit the booth if you didn't get your questions answered, because we do have advisors there who can get those answers to you.
Yeah, I'll be there. Dr. Wells will be there for a little bit, and there'll be someone from the registrar's office who can help. So nice to have everyone join us. Thank you.
Yeah, you're all fantastic. Thanks so much, guys. Have a good one.
Take care. Thanks, Ryan.
Bye, thank you.